47 Meters Down Uncaged is an adventure drama horror film starring Sophie Nelisse, Corinne Foxx, Sistine Stallone, and Brianne amongst others. It is directed by Johannes Roberts. The story is about a dive that goes wrong for 4 teenagers when they get trapped in sunken ruins with great white sharks. Mia, played by Sophie Nelisse, is having a tough time adjusting to her new school in Mexico. Her cooler stepsister Sasha, played by Corinne Foxx, doesn't even acknowledge her existence. But when Sasha's friends Alexa, played by Brianne, and Nicole, played by Sistine Stallone, plan to sneak off on a diving adventure, they decide to have Mia tag along. This soon turns into a nightmare when they explore a submerged temple whose ruins are also home to ancient great white sharks. One of the girls knocks over a structural column, leading to a collapse that traps them underwater. The 4 girls need to avoid the bloodthirsty sharks while surviving on limited oxygen in their tanks as they find their way out. If you haven't figured out just yet, this is a shark film, so you know exactly what you're in for: people eaten by sharks in many different and creative ways. It's tricky to shoot and put together a film largely based underwater. There are limited options visually and narratively, but this film doesn't care much about logic, so don't go about wondering how the girls communicate with each other, for example. Actually, if you start looking into that, there are numerous other creative liberties taken, and the film often becomes ridiculous. Perhaps it's too much to expect from a shark movie where you know pretty much what you're in for. Keeping that in mind, the film occasionally has engaging sequences, especially towards the climax. But it's interspersed between such drab dialogue spewed by bland characters and predictable outcomes for certain characters that it constantly struggles to keep you tuned in. The actors have very little to work with, although they are adequate. The characters are barely defined, and expecting any more from the cast would be asking for too much. Although the production design should be applauded, it's understandably difficult to put together the ruins of an underwater temple, but the effort goes to waste. The film's cinematography really struggles with those sequences. Many scenes are too darkly lit and impossible to decipher, especially when the action is meant to be chaotic and instill a sense of fear. It ends up being disorienting instead. The mediocre CGI doesn't help much either. Instead of embracing the entertaining cheesiness of such a far-fetched premise, co-writer and director Johannes Roberts tries to stick to the basics of a creature feature and fails to create anything memorable. Keeping that in mind, I'm going with 2.5 stars for 47 Meters Down Uncaged. There's just very little here worth remembering. Shark films are meant to be scary yet fun, and if you're into that sort of thing, then you may get a few kicks out of this, but otherwise, you'd be better off staying out of these waters. Guys, thanks so much for watching this review. For more film reviews, interviews, and box office stories, keep watching, because if it's entertainment, you'll find it here on ENOW.